Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. About to get into the final match of today. Chiefs taking on Sin, the battle for third place almost, and Chiefs have dropped the game now.
Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, absolute disaster in Game 2 for the Chiefs. They fell down, I think, 15,000 gold, and then they dragged the game out for like 6 minutes, but it never really recovered from there.
Yeah, they tried their hardest.
They certainly did.
They had a sneaky Baron attempt, which could have gone well. They had three.
I mean, they had 2 cracks at Baron. That play that they were talking about on the analyst desk where Swiffer flashed forward mid lane, the reason they wanted to do that was because Juice was off the map, and they felt that if they could grab another kill, that they would be able to go to Baron. That didn't work. Swiffer died. Then the second time Juice was off the map, they tried to go towards Baron. That didn't work.
I also think the flash...
Able to clean up the kills.
I also think that flash forward from Swiffer was one of the many uncharacteristic plays made by Chiefs in that match.
I think you have to. Like, what wasn't said at that point was they were down 11,000 gold. So, like, you have to make a play when you're down that far. You have 2 options. You either bleed out slowly, or you try and make a play and therefore grab a Baron off the end of it. And I think that it was, like, once again, we're roasting Swiffer, but Egypt missed the hook. Not only did he miss it on Ryoma, he also missed it on the creep wave, which would have led to a flay, which once again would have led to Ryoma dying. So there were a lot of things that went wrong in that game. So I think it's very strange to like put emphasis on those kind of things.
Coming into Game 3 Champion Select, one thing that has changed is Maokai has been banned out. That has, however, left Zach open and first picked by the Chiefs.
Certainly has. Chiefs go back to their Game 1 bans, I believe, right now. And Sin go back to their Game 1 bans also, apart from the Maokai. They went with Zach. Gragas into Zach is okay for Gragas.
And it could still be Dokla's pick. We
could
know
still
that
be
this is
Dokla.
a
I don't think they're going to give it to Dokla.
Big flex pick for Sin.
Certainly is.
And they get the Kalista again. Now that the Chiefs continue with the protected AD carry cog.
I would not be surprised if they did. I think that, you know, they can play any hyper carry into it. And I think that, you know, if you go back to something a little bit more defensive. If they want to play Kalista Janna, I would not be surprised to see Ali also, Ejim also jump. Sorry, if they want to play Kalista Alistar, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ejim jump onto the Janna, as we've also seen lately, Fish. I'm expecting to see heaps of support bans come out.
So that's an early Orianna pick for the Chiefs. Mid lane is something you usually see drafted either as the final pick in first rotation red side, or in the second rotation on
interesting.
Any side.
So they go for utility bottom lane.
They've completely swung the way how they want to play this game. Ryoma should pick up a mid laner here while he has the chance to do so before bans can come through by Sin. Cassidy does well into Orianna. She's another champion that has a lot of magic damage on her auto attacks, but it says sticks to Taliyah.
I was about to say, I would be very shocked if he doesn't pick up Taliyah. Sin Gaming, I would say with Taliyah, I think they've lost 1 game. I think all split long, they have absolutely dominated teams with this pickup.
They have.
And it's not just because of the laning phase and, you know, what happens there. It's because every single time Chiefs wanted to approach a turret in that game, they had to worry about a Taliyah. Every single time you're defending a turret, you have to worry about Taliyah. Unless you can really hard shove her into turret, which no one does anymore. Aurelion Sol was kind of the last champion that could do that, Fish. Then you just cannot get any priority in this game.
Curious to see what the rest of the Chiefs drafts entails, because a lot of utility come out from their first 3 picks. Jarvan and Renekton are the first 2 bans coming out from Sin. Braum taken away by the Chiefs. Sin, they're still looking for a top lane or jungler and a support, whereas the Chiefs, they're looking for their top laner as well as support, guaranteed.
Yep. Dokla is going to get counter pick again this game. He's going to be able to take either the Gragas into top lane, as you mentioned.
Or is there a high priority top or jungle pick they want here?
Cho'Gath?
Potentially. I do like the sounds of the counter pick better, because if Chiefs pick up Cho'Gath here, you have to question where's the damage going to come from their team.
I mean, Orianna, Ashe both do fine damage late game. I don't like, unless they want to play Kled or something top lane, they're not going to find all that much damage out of that area. Deep boot.
It's probably not going to happen with the Alistar lock-in.
It's 100% not going to happen.
The Wukong, though, oof, that's a lot of damage top lane spawn.
It's not going to happen.
Let's see what the Chiefs do decide to pick up, though.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see... well, that would be an interesting adaptation coming out of the Chiefs. It's going to be a support Trundle.
Trundle locked in. Ash Trundle historically has been a good lane.
Been a very good lane to gank for.
Yeah, has a lot of crowd control.
Doesn't really do all that much in the 2v2, although the way that Trundle kind of counters Alistar is when Alistar goes in, you Trundle away their 80 carry, and then you look to start biting onto the Alistar.
So Galio pick.
Top lane.
Interesting.
I wonder if they have a Fiora up in their pocket. I would be very interested to see a heavy 1-3-1 comp now ran by Sin. It would lack wave clear in the 3 because Kalista has to get access to the wave to be able to chunk it out. But that is a gauntlet thrown from the Chiefs Esports Club, and I think Fiora is the right pick to try and shut this down.
Do they pick it up? Let's see. They're hovering over the Fiora pick, and it will be Juice picking up Grax in the jungle with Fiora top lane for Dokla.
And the funny thing is the Chiefs have done kind of what Bensul asked the team to do. They said, you know, make our top lane the win condition. Like, challenge us on that side of the map, and we will see who comes out ahead. Well, the Chiefs do exactly that. They blind Galio, who was pretty much single-handedly forced out of the top lane meta by Fiora. And you can see that, you know, that Zyra ban maybe wasn't needed. Kalista had already been shown. Kalista Zyra, not the most well-known lane fish.
It certainly is not. I mean, this is strange coming out from the Chiefs. I like the draft from Sin. I like the Fiora pick into Swiper, but we've seen Direwolves run similar team compositions with, you know, top lane tank, with tank supporter, tank jungler.
Yep.
Orianna definitely has a much bigger punch in this team comp than the Direwolves Galio mid. But it's not as damage heavy as Kalista, Taliyah, as well as Fiora pickup.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that team fight looks really not great for Sin Gaming, to be honest.
It does not.
But in saying that, the 1-3-1 pressure that's going to come out, the amount of wave clear that they have on Ryoma, and therefore they're going to be able to force the Orianna into a side lane, and Orianna doesn't like being their fish. And then the amount of kill threat that Dokla has on everyone that can go to a side lane on the Chiefs. Was known as a split pusher before he came to the OPL. We'll see whether he can continue that.
I mean, what's with this Orianna pick? It's not the first team we've seen pick it up so early, but whenever you do, the opposite side just goes, well, we can play a 1-3-1 comp now, and there's nothing you can do because Orianna is going to be useless in a 1-3-1.
Orianna's good at forcing in the 4. That's all it is. She can put the ball on Zach, and they can just jump in. They've got Arrow to also start up a fight. I think that what you have to be careful about as we jump onto Summoner's Rift is that your waves are prepped for the Chiefs, and then your collapse is very clean, because you'll get maybe a wave to be able to dive in and turret dive, and there's not really all that much Sin can do to prevent FBI getting blown up if Zach hits him with that elastic slingshot.
So we are onto Summoners Rift, as you mentioned, Spawn. We'll have to see how this game pans out. These two teams definitely have a rivalry against one another, a friendly one at that. Chiefs did knock Sin out of the gauntlet. Sorry, Sin knocked Chiefs out of the gauntlet. Yep. And they were the 3rd seed to represent Oceania at Rift Rivals. And if they pick up a game here, Spawn, you have to think that they're justifying going to Rift Rivals.
100% fish. I mean, I think Sin have already done that by the fact that they were able to get up to the Gigabyte Marines in that final day that OS was playing. They beat the number 3 and number 2 seed teams from Southeast Asia.
They did.
And they weren't the only team that lost in that fashion to the Marines.
Oof. Legacy and Direwolves
did not have any better luck.
No, and it almost looked like Sin were the closest ones in certain stages of that match.
See whether Ryoma goes for a cheeky play onto the Raptors here. You can see Swiffer is very aware of it and trying to zone him away. So it does protect it.
So currently on the ladder, it's 17-16 Legacy Direwolves. Legacy still undefeated.
13 points Chiefs.
14 points Chiefs.
Now that they've picked up 1, yep.
Sin 11.
Yep.
So Sin won't be able to become 4th, so to speak, but they give them the head-to-head, and it breaks them away from AV. AV are 3 and 4 with 11 points as well. I believe this is 14 points Chiefs before this game's taken into account.
No, it's 13, because they can only equal Direwolves.
Let's see what happens here. Because as much as Sin won't be able to, you know, rocket jump over to 3rd place, they still separate themselves with AV, which is good. And it sends a message to the Chiefs, which is they have to fear this squad in the future.
Yeah, exactly right. And these two teams are most likely going to play in the gauntlet now, Fish. I think that's what we have to go back to. Unless the Chiefs get a very cheeky victory over Direwolves in the final week, which is looking, you know, a little bit harder to do at the moment, then I think that there is a real potential that these guys have to play each other 2nd round of Gauntlet, and that if Chiefs have come off back-to-back losses, that will play with their mind a little bit.
It certainly will. And the fact that Chiefs have already dropped the game here means that they're separated way away from Legacy. They're down from the Direwolves as well. They can no longer equal them in points. And it just makes their climb back up to try and get that automatic grand finals placing much harder. But let's see how this game goes for now. Swiffer's going to take some damage in mid lane from Ryoma. Taliyah.
Yeah, that was a max range flick, however, and didn't drag him through many pebbles. I think it only dragged him through one on the edge fish. Ryoma now is going to be ganked as well.
Oh, he's on the wrong side of the map as well. Spooks hits him with his auto attack Q.
Wow.
Doesn't get the knock up, but forces a flash.
Yeah, although Swiffer now taking a lot of damage, and Spooks needs to flash. He gets hit.
Good damage coming out from Juice. That forces the flash out of Spooks. He's
Still
going to get knocked.
passive.
That's passive gone. Juice
They're
to
gonna have
come in and try and kill
teleport to save him
this.
if they want.
Let's see if they do use the teleport. Good damage. There's the teleport coming out to make sure they keep the Bloblets alive. Spooks will come back up, but Juice just keeps the barrel there. He picks up first blood.
Exactly right, and all of a sudden, Raze as well on the bottom lane. He's dead.
So many spears going
he's
into
not.
Raze. He's still alive. Will die to the ignite. So supports trade kills, and that's an angry Mukau on the bottom lane.
And now we're going to have the reverse situation where Rogue needs to push this in
Look at Ejim.
for his support. And Ejim is going to have to try and hold it off the turret.
Oh,
Juice
no.
comes down, though.
Here he goes. Does he body slam flash? Juice goes for it. Good pillar from Ejim. Stops that one.
But the wave hits the turret. So all of that experience is going to go to waste. Ejim's going to have to pick it all up. And unfortunately for Raze, this lane will now become incredibly difficult to win.
Deja vu for Sin. They're happy with the spot they're at the moment. FBI is not far ahead in CS, but the experience will be good. Chief Swiffer is now charging towards Ryoma. Spooks has come back. That's an overstay.
Yeah, it certainly is. You could see that he was pushed up, refused to be frozen on. Lots of mid laners in the OPL do not like that fish. So good play out of Spooks to revisit.
He also, Ryoma decided to corner himself near the Raptor camp instead of running straight back down mid lane.
I think Swiffer kind of had the inside lane there. I don't know if Swiffer would have been able to kill him, however, in a 1v1. So you're right, there is a potential that that was the wrong play. Now, without any summoner spells, however, I expect Ryoma to become a sitting duck. If you can't win the bottom lane 2v2, and it looks like it is an FBI rogue thing.
So this has also got Dokla slightly ahead top side of map. Because Swiper used that teleport, had to cancel, and now Dokla can freeze this lane or shove it back in, and he knows that Swiper has to walk back into the lane.
Yeah, exactly right. You can see how many additional creeps there are, so Swiper's going to lose a big wave. I think it's already a really hard lane for Galio to win once level 6 is achieved for the Fiora.
He does pick up a Bramble Vest very early.
Yeah.
But as soon
Going to help with the healing, actually.
Yeah. As soon as Dokla gets... Oh, okay, no. A good point was that split pushers normally get ahead of their tank counterparts once they pick up some form of lifesteal. But Bramble Vest's going to cut that in half.
Also negates some of the healing from the ultimate. So what Fiora used to be able to do is even if you lived through all of her procs, she would just sit there and heal, and then you would like really lose out on that trade. You can see that Ejim very worried about being dove right now.
Playing this one very cautious. Raze, Boots and Dagger to double longsword picked up by FBI.
Luke still hasn't picked up blue buff, which means the first blue is probably going to go over to Swiffer. He's looking for a dive here. Level 4, no passive.
Level 6 on Swiffer though, gets on top of Ryoma. Not going to be able to slam him into anything.
Instead, he's probably just going to die.
Does that separate him? Does not. Instead, Spooks doesn't get knocked back. Now Ryoma is in trouble. Cheeky play out of the Sin mid laner. Doesn't pay off.
Yeah, I don't think that pays off though, because all of a sudden he has to recall again. Raze is in big trouble, Fish.
Lots of spears thrown in by FBI. He already ripped them out, so can't get that extra damage.
Raze is getting really punished in this 1v1. I think, you know, when level 6 is achieved, they'll be able to get the Zac in. Gragas is behind Swiffer. Swiper is in range for an ultimate, however. See whether this is a bait.
They're going for an engaged bottom lane. Ejim in trouble. That's a lot of spears. Is he dead? Yes, he is. Ripped out. Raze now trying to stand and deliver, but he's just going to get dove back upon. Another rip out from FBI, and Raze is forced off turret.
You can see he spotted out Juves. Juves is running down there very quickly.
Uh-oh. Can he get the snipe? He's going in. Oh, if he knows Raze is there, he's a dead Ash. We'll spot him. Goes for the body bot. One more barrel, and Nuv. Juves styles on him.
He was trying to bait for Spooks. There's no other way to put that. He could have just walked to safety. Instead, he burns a summoner spell. Spooks wasn't in range for it, and now Spooks is going to lose out on his Crow camp as well. Juves 2-0-0.
And again, I'm curious to why the Ash pick. Xayah was up. Kog'Maw still available.
I don't
think Caitlyn was left up too.
So I have a different opinion than everyone on the OPL on Xayah. And I don't think Xayah wins many lanes before. He is incredibly low range. And the support meta, even though when she gets 6, yes, she can outplay a lot of the damage. I think her laning phase for a 500 range AD carry suffers a lot. With Rakan, definitely playable. They have that very good innate strength together. But we are seeing a lot of Xayah punishment globally. And now that allows the ally to rotate in mid lane.
But even with Xayah being a heavy punishable mate, you started up a lot of other picks. I believe Caitlyn was still up. Varus even, but Ashe is one that we don't see very frequently unless the AD carry pool has been targeted quite heavily. Do they really need the initiation from Raze as the constant slows that they kept her in for?
I mean, I think it's the safer laning phase, right? Ashe has one of the safest laning phases for an AD carry out there. She just pokes with W. She has longer range than the other ones that were mentioned, apart from Caitlyn, who is very bad into Alistar in my knowledge because the headbutt pole cancels your trap. You can't get away.
Isn't Kalista one of the few lanes that can actually just dive onto her because of how her mobility works? That's what was curious to me, but Spook's now in trouble. Juves actually knocks him into the wall, forcing his flash.
Yeah, could have potentially flashed after him.
This has so far been a good game for Sin, and they're going for more. Egypt gets engaged upon, pops his ultimate onto FBI and uses the Ignite very early. Knocked him back into the team, takes a lot of damage, but that's a lot of spears, and Egypt will flash out before he can rip the spears back. Juves comes in to protect his bottom lane. That's another teleport
TP.
cancel.
That was interesting coming in from Rogue. However, FBI used his ult then. Rogue's ult is still available, so there's not going to be a counter gank coming in here. Now you can see they're shoving in quite heavily, have a big CS lead right now.
Egypt found the perfect time to flash. It looked like FBI wanted a couple more spears before he ripped them out, and he got out of the range with the flash, which was smart.
Yep.
Still 1,000 gold lead for Sin. Dokla is accelerating himself top side of the map though. Ninja Tabi Bramble Vest is all Swiper has. Dokla's got a TM up Vamp Scepter.
Yeah, it certainly does.
He can sit in lane for as long as he wants now.
I don't think Swiper is going to be all that worried about it because he's just going to do this. Until Dokla can hit the turret freely, he's not really going to hard win the lane. You can see Swiper's still got a couple of potions left. So I don't know whether it's a massive deal at this stage. I think the scary thing is if he becomes the way Pabu was yesterday, which is where even though he's a split pusher, if he ever gets onto your carry, he two-shots them. And you can see once again, Sin are doing their big sweep of the bottom lane jungle and looking for all of the wards. They ward in lane, will be spotted out, but control ward would have to be burnt by Ejim to grab it. He does burn the control ward.
Wow. It's still a lot of wards placed down by Sin though. And they have been spotted out by the Chiefs. Yep. Both exclamation mark things went on to the 2 places the wards could have been placed down by Sin, so they're very cautious of this teleport flank that can come out from Dokla.
Exactly right, and this is why I thought that the game was a little bit more Taliyah influenced, because, you know, much safer lane out of the Chiefs this time in Ashe Trundle, but the threat of the Taliyah dive is still definitely there, and you can see that this time Tommy's chucking it top lane, where Dokla is up, threatening the dive onto Swiper, and now they will potentially look for, Raze, if you ever step up, you are dead.
Yeah, they pinged the question mark.
I think he's dead even if he doesn't.
Yeah, he's gone. That's instant kill.
I mean, why would you step up?
That's the time.
Ejim's gone. Your bottom lane has been completely swerved out. He doesn't even have time to flash. He just gets flashed on instantly by both Rogue and Juves and dies.
They pinged it too. They knew something was happening, and he saw the bottom side was clear from Juves, so he's either top side clearing out the rest, or he's bottom lane for a gank. He took the 50-50, it did not pay off.
And the Chiefs kind of are telegraphing where Spooks is as well at this stage, because unfortunately for Spooks, he has one option, and that is gank Ryoma, because nothing else will work.
That's an early flash from Ryoma. Very respectful. He's still going to get hit by the shockwave here, and will probably fall. So the force works for the Chiefs, but first turret falls for Sin.
Yeah, and this is really strange because, as I said, Ryoma knows where Spooks has to be because you can't gank Dokla. Dokla would actually turn the gank at this stage of the game. He's very, very strong. And I also don't think he can match bottom lane because of how much stronger FBI is than Rogue. Oh, good arrow.
Rogue's on the wrong side of the map. Blast Cone? Blast Cone? Okay, he decides to take the long way out, doesn't go over the wall.
Potentially could have been like someone looking to cut him off there. Swiper in trouble.
Good damage from Dokla, but Swiper's healthy enough to stay in this lane with the Doran's ring.
Yep.
Dokola and No Matter forced to go back.
Both of them going to be forced to go back. And this game is going to be won out by how strong can the 80 carry for Sin become, FBI? And how much can they put Tommy behind now that he doesn't have Summoner spells again? As soon as that Shockwave's back available, I expect another gank to go towards him. And if they can keep him weak enough that he can't enter a side lane versus Swiffer, then the mid game will be much harder to execute upon. In saying that, there is such a gold lead right now for FBI. He has got Boots 2, completed Blade of the Ruined King, as well as everything else. And you can see a little bit aware of where Spooks is right now. They're bringing everyone down.
But again, it's going to be a much more quiet game than what we'd expect from these two teams. No scrappy brawls out of Sin, which is good to see. They're very calculated in how they played this match so far. In all three of their games, really. Ravenous High just been complete by Dokar. That should be where Fiora starts to win out heavily against the Galio, especially when he's going for a variety of items to start off. And Agent has completed his quest. Well done. Quest complete.
Give me a quest. Funnily enough, Rogue is still going Targans here, so didn't go for the coin. Doesn't want the speed up. One of the champions I thought would actually welcome the changed coin would be Alistar, because he doesn't really use Face of the Mountain or anything like that, and loves the old Shurelya's Revelry.
But again, 2,000 gold is what separates these two teams. It's going to be a long game. Doesn't feel like this is going to be a quick 25-minute match.
I feel like it's actually a little bit on the knife's edge, because you can see Dockler is starting to bully out the Galio. And as we already mentioned, this is kind of why Galio doesn't exist as a top laner anymore. Bottom lane is heavily in favor of Sin. And there's only one condition for the Chiefs, which is that man on your screen right now, Swiffer, being able to bully around Ryoma. And that's not happening all that quickly, because Ryoma can just clear out mid-wave and leave. And all the side lane control is in favor of Sin Gaming right now.
Ryoma's trying to find anywhere possible to use Workaround. Shockwave early, Ryoma taking a chunk of damage. Juves is here, he gets jumped on by Spooks.
Yeah.
Have a bit of damage. He goes back in, he's like, come back here, Swiffer, into the mid lane, onto a rock field, have my auto attacks that I remember.
And Doppler's here.
Going for a fight, the wall doesn't separate them. Spooks tries to deliver his team in, but that's a flash to take him away. Meanwhile, Swiper wants to kill on Ryoma. Goes for the uppercut, not enough damage. Tags Juves with the rubber hands, but Dokola gets one. Now sliding on towards Spooks. We'll get the distance for the speed up slow. And meanwhile, bottom lane, FBI's killed someone.
Exactly right. FBI has caught out Ejim, and Ejim, even through his ultimate, has fallen down. And the Chiefs, as I said, the game was on a knife edge. They rotate very quickly here, Sin. They're able to pick up multiple kills. They're now collapsing on mid lane turret. And this one is going to be nigh impossible for the Chiefs to win. Let's have a look at what happened. Ejim gets engaged on, waits for Ali to come out, and gets bounced up, pushed back.
Oh. That's it, really?
Yep.
Didn't use Flash, didn't try to dodge anything, and just died for it.
I mean, I don't think there's really a reason to use Flash there. He got knocked straight back onto the 80 carry.
Should he flash the Trundle there, or just pray he doesn't die?
Flash what?
When Trundle gets thrown at, sorry, Alistar gets thrown at him.
Yeah, I mean, you can potentially flash the initial engage, but then they just have burned an ultimate for flash, and it's going to happen again in a couple of seconds. I think that you hope that you can turn the fight. Obviously, they're very far behind and they can't. You know, potentially if Spooks was there half a second earlier, they would have looked to win it, but he was busy mid lane. So I think that that was just a really good catch coming out of Sin, and that you spend the minimum to try and make sure that doesn't happen. And this is what happens when you're the only winning lane. Juves has just sat mid for a good 5 minutes now and just said, you know, you can't dive him anymore, unfortunately. I'm going to protect him. So really nice job out of Juves to shut down all of this tempo. And on the side of Sin, you now have a long lane to stick Dockler in. He's not in danger of dying to your tank top and tank jungle. And he's not really even in danger of dying to Swiffer right now.
And let's go back to the Rift Rivals thing, because we've seen Legacy as well as Sin do incredibly well coming back from Rift Rivals.
Yep.
Sin have picked up plenty of games. We've also seen Legacy not drop a single game except for their match against Direwolves. They went from a 2-1 every game team to a 2-0 every game team.
Yep.
And this match is kind of showing that Sin have improved drastically since going international, which is good to see.
Certainly has. I think that it highlights... Ooh, sorry, I thought he was going to get ulted there. I think it highlights like what they learnt there, and that is that Tommy and Victor. So FBI and Ryoma are definitely their hard carries at the moment. And that Juves needs to play bottom side as a good Talia Wolf. Burns the summoner spells out of Swiffer.
Shockwave comes through though. Gets a good trade in return.
Certainly does. And now, ooh.
Flashes out of it. Ryoma very happy to burn his summoner spells quickly.
Yeah, Swiffer also flashed the wall straight away, so both of them giving the respect they need. If these mid lane turrets fall down, I think it opens up the map in a way that neither team will really enjoy. It gives Chiefs a win condition on their side, and it gives Sin a legitimate way to just win the whole game. Doppler now taking turret shots, has to flash as well. I don't think he had to flash that one. Maybe would have been taken back into the turret, actually. Now so potentially could have, because he didn't have his riposte available.
Now does Juves just run straight top, knowing that's Spooks' bottom side?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly look for the play. You can see that the Scrying Orb went out, and they're going to look to force him off this turret. Juves is there. Spooks will follow shortly behind.
Good trade coming out from the Chiefs, though. Rogue is half health. That tower is almost going to fall, and that's the last minion, so it's difficult to take down the turret with this low health.
But they have Arrow available, and they do have Swiffer heading up there. You can see that, meanwhile, Doppler is just hitting the turret bottom lane.
He pops the ultimate onto Swiper as well. Gets the crucial proc, which was against the wall. Will get the heal up. Now more procs are going to try and follow through. Once that solo kill was so close to it as well, Spawn.
Yeah, and I thought that, the Bramble Vest would actually stop the healing. Well, it didn't. He's back to full health, Fish. He's up 60 CS, and I think this was a bad pick out of the Chiefs. I think that, Galio probably doesn't belong in the top lane right now. The carries still look like they beat him. See whether the Chiefs can get aggressive in this top lane. Juves is here.
What? Juves is here. That's going to be a double kill. Raze is there. That's a 1-2 good night if I've ever seen one. And Egypt just tries to get back towards Spooks. He might actually die for that too. They're trying to save Egypt. Let's see if they can. They pull up Swiffer as well. Juves is zoning him, knocks him into Ryoma. Almost gets a kill right off the bat. Builds a wall. Juves breaks it down, and Spooks will die for it as well. So many spears.
Yeah, exactly right. And they take down another turret. 7,000 gold right now for the Sin Gaming lineup. And bottom lane, I mean, they can't even stop Doppler. This is going to probably be the game nice and early. It was a breaking point. The Chiefs needed to find a team fight, Fish, and they could not.
They could not.
And now their whole map is in shambles. Top lane outer, bottom lane base turret, mid lane outer, all going to fall down in such quick succession.
And I mean, we don't talk about the drafts too much when it comes to Sin. We give a lot of credit to their captain, Juves, their two star players, Ryoma and FBI, but Bensel has been a solid coach for this team in the past few splits, and he set them up for success again. More than happy to throw Doppler on the split pushing champion, which has paid off.
Yeah, certainly has. I mean, he's up by 60, 70 CS at this stage of the game. Let's have a look at what's happening. So they think that they have the inside trap here. They try and wall in FBI. Unfortunately, I think, one auto attack did he get off in that fight?
That's it.
So Ray's dead. Also, the decision to put the ball onto Ejim here and not onto Spooks probably allowed FBI to escape. And that means, Swiffer gets pushed through all the rocks. He's going to fall down as well. Doesn't get anything done. And means that the Chiefs lost the whole map.
FBI thought he was going to get that one. Healed to get a few more auto attacks off, but he didn't rip the spears out fast enough. I even thought that Spooks was dead. Yeah. There's a lot of them in the Bloblet.
I mean, I don't think it matters, Fish. It's 8,000 gold at 21 minutes. So you didn't kill the jungler. Everything else on the map now belongs to you, and the Chiefs got those 3 constellation kills again.
It's a visual bug in the bottom lane as well. That inhibitor turret is gone.
Yeah.
Doppler was able to take that down all by himself. Now it's nigh impossible for Chiefs to defend against this split-pushing Fiora, who has her 2 items.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you can see that they're going for something cheeky. They've sent Raze down into the bottom lane to try and catch out Doppler. That's not going to work because he's no longer there.
Yeah, which is, again, smart play from the Sin top laner. He's probably been the biggest benefactor of moving in from Rift Rivals. Because he looked abysmal in the first few weeks, and since then, he has not had a standout bad performance. He's made mistakes, but he hasn't had a game where you go, Doppler was the reason why Sin lost this.
Yeah, completely agree. However, I also think that this is probably one of the most one-sided matches that you have in League of Legends at the moment. Ryoma in some trouble.
Gets delivered into the team, but Swiper even burning his flash there. Ash Arrow miss, Spooks got his ultimate off, but they burn so much for that.
Chiefs are not mentally in this game anymore. Sin have absolutely ran circles around them, and you have to give credit to the young squad because they have dominated the Chiefs in back-to-back games.
Mental boom.
Yep. Big mental boom, I think, Fish. You can see that he's gone Sunfire Cape to try and match the push, but it's just not working.
Yeah, they're bringing everyone down here. Ryoma's going to try and build a wall, but that might just cut the rest of the team off. Doppler's going to die. They've collapsed with 3 members. He's just doing his best to live. Jumps on top of Ejim, wants to try and get a solo kill there, forces him back off. They're taking a long time to kill this Fiora. My goodness, he does not care. Swiffer's the one that's in trouble here as well. Almost, but not quite. Instead, as you mentioned, Baron buff is the real objective to Sin.
Yeah, exactly right. So they waste a lot of time. Sure, Dokla falls down. But now, how do you stall out in your base against this 1-3-1 with a Baron buff? I don't know if it's possible. It's like, yeah. The Chiefs are just absolutely in shambles. And Sin have played circles around them.
Not reading that too.
1-2, good night. Am I right?
That is... Oh, it's from Twitch. It's not even a tweet. I didn't even see that.
Oh, really?
We've got Twitch chat on the broadcast. Oh, no. I'm scared now. What have you done, producers?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the smartest move. However, what are we looking at? We're looking at, you know, big gold advantages right now for FBI. He's up 4,000 gold, in fact, so the biggest gold advantage. 3,000 for the top laner in Dokla.
This is silly. This is actually a disaster. All 3 games have been one-sided, and Sin... What was the breaking point here for them? Was it just their bottom lane overrunning Raze and Ejim? Was it Jews paying so much attention there? Yeah. Or, as you mentioned at the start, was it Benzel going, all right, we'll take them top side of the map with the Fiora pick?
Well, the Fiora now is incredibly strong, so you would expect a 3,000 gold lead regardless. It's where the other, like, 8,000-ish came from. And I think that a lot of it was being overrun. Obviously, they had practiced Kog'Maw so much this week, they thought it was a winning lane. And having to pivot to the Ashe, Raze doesn't look comfortable in the pick at all. They're going to go for the hard engage here, however. Where's the arrow?
I mean, that's a good force, but both Jews and Rogue stop anything from happening. They're like, nope, we're not allowing this rubber pink thing to get anywhere close.
Exactly right, but you have to be able to go again, because if not, Dokla is going to destroy your whole base. So again, they dive in. Ashe arrow misses again, Fish.
Galio's coming in though, and Spooks gets a nice ultimate. Actually cancelled by the Galio. And now Juves as well as Rogue say, sure, we're the tank, we can fight. FBI's chucking spears into Swiffer. That's the backline dead. Raze is stuck against the wall. FBI's happily kiting this one out.
Dokla's just going to win the game.
Dokla's going to do what he did last time.
Absolutely over. Sin Gaming win the 4v5, and they're going to win the best of 3.
FBI still trying to juke this one around. Raze is going to fall. 4-on-5, no problem. Dokla even comes in for the action again. Stops hitting the Nexus. This time he's the scumbag that steals the final kill. And Sin, they've done it. Every single Super Week that's ever existed here. They're just the kryptonites of the Chiefs. They're on to the Nexus. Game number 3 was theirs. Every single one was a one-sided affair. And in typical Sin fashion, they don't even want to hit the Nexus here, Spawn.
They certainly don't. They want to savor this moment, and damn well they should. They go up 15,000 gold, and they have broken the Chiefs today. Chiefs in game 1, they look fantastic, but game 2 and 3 was a completely different story, Fish.
It certainly was. Sin, they've done it again. They propel themselves to 4th above Avant by 1 point. Unfortunately, not close enough to the Chiefs after dropping way too many 2-1s. But still, they'd be very happy with the outcome. They'd be ecstatic over their Super Week performance.
Yeah, and I think they should look at how they won this game, because this game 3 was telling. This showed that if they set up their top side of the map, that Dokla is good enough in a counter pick to really create a win condition. Because Ryoma actually got camped out this time, and he fell behind. But Dokla applied enough pressure top lane that there was never really any way for Swiper to impact these big 5v5s, and that's perfect execution of what you want to do on a split-pushing champion. Just keep the team fighter from the other side there. So hats off to Dokla, because I think that one of his split-pushing games on Jax was a suicide split-pushing game. This game on Fiora was a genuinely good split-pushing performance against the tank.
And if you're a Legacy fan, you have to be a big Sin fan as well. Super Week, they take a game off Direwolves, making sure Legacy are clear first after their 2-0 victory. And now they've taken down the Chiefs as well, the other contender for the top 4 spot.
I mean, realistically, Synergy is coming for the Legacy themselves. I mean, no one can really get close to Legacy at the moment. They've beaten Direwolves, they've beaten the Chiefs. But if a team would be able to upset, you know, through some good current form, I think that Sin would actually be that team at the moment. Direwolves are a staple roster. And I think that Legacy, at their best, beat Direwolves at their best. And that's what we saw. And that's why Legacy, in my mind, are the favorite to win it. But if there's ever been a wild card in the OPL, Fish, it's that team that was just absolutely able to dismantle the Chiefs.
There's a reason why every single split, there's a Cinderella story and a Cinderella
I don't want to hear about
somewhere.
Cinderella anymore.
Sin might try to do it once again, but we'll have to find out later on to the split to see if they can do just that. For now, though, to round out the day and to finish off Super Week, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Fish and Spawn. Sin taking the series 2-1 over Chiefs. And I guess kind of a surprise if you look at it historically, potentially less of a surprise if you look at both teams' recent forms.
Yeah, I really game one.
Seemed shocked.
Yeah, game was a cheese. Was a cheese game. But
yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, you can call it cheese. I think, yeah, it was. They came into the game obviously with an early game plan and a very nice draft, and they executed on it extremely well. So, yeah, I guess you could call it a cheese, but I would call it good planning and good execution.
good cheese is good planning, good execution.
Agree.
All right, well, those are our initial thoughts on this game. But standing by with our sideline reporter, Sarianne, is jungler and captain for Sin Juves. So let's throw it to them now for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here with Juves after that 2-1 win over the Chiefs. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you.
You created a bit of hype around this series. You tweeted out saying that it was the match of the year.
Yes.
But how are you and the team feeling beforehand going into this match?
Well, that was like a throwback to our gauntlet match where where I did the hype video and I was like, this is match of the year. So I just tried to like throw back to that. But this match for us, it was pretty much solidified who was the third place team. Obviously, it still can change, but I mean, it's a good measurement, I guess, as to where we're at and where we need to be come gauntlet time. So it's like we're really, really happy with the win.
The first match didn't really go in your favour, but after that you came out arms swinging. So what happened between game 1 and 2 to bring out this dominant side of Sin?
Game 1 was... we got cheesed bot. Like, it was pretty cheesy and my bot lane was pretty upset about it. But then we also kind of tweaked the draft a little bit. We thought that... I guess we figured something out in that game. Like, we just thought, like, oh, Maokai actually ruined us. So we tweaked that in Pickman, and then once we did that, I think it was pretty good games, I would say. Like, they were pretty clean. Yeah.
It's pretty well known that Sin have a passionate and dedicated fan base.
Yep.
So is there anything you'd like to say to your fans or the people that have supported you?
I say, get fired up, boys. Third place at the moment. Get fired up. Get amongst it. Got the boys in the background. Come gauntlet time. It's going to happen again, but this time we might be a little bit higher up, so we don't have to play as many games. So this time we can make grand finals. So there we go.
Congratulations once again, Juves, and thanks for the interview.
Thank you.
Oh boy,
Pretty fired up.
Get fired up. That was absolutely not what I thought he was going to say. I was like, oh no, what's he doing? He's burning it all down.
It's live television.
He's good. All right. Yeah, great stuff, and congratulations to Sin. I want to start by talking about this draft going into Game 3 because it was odd. Sin stick with the Kalista pick, and instead of picking Kog'Maw into Kalista, Chiefs pick Ashe, which I think you were saying, Carbon, is an old school counter.
I think like last year when people were playing a lot of Kalista, Ashe was kind of seen as like it was a different Ashe to the one there is now. They hadn't like updated her Q yet, but yeah, Ashe was sort of a soft counter to Kalista. Yeah. Here, I'm not sure. I don't want to really hazard a guess because I'm not sure. Obviously, the arrow helps. They had a lot of hard engage, so maybe it was for the comp. Maybe the idea was just they were going to sit back and farm. Trundle was going to keep Ali off the Ashe, and they were just going to farm that lane out. I'm not really sure.
They ended up picking Kalista Alistar again, which worked with them game 2, which I thought was going to happen, but then they were kind of given a free lane. I thought Ashe Trundle to me is quite a weak lane. You could see that Sin were given too much room, and they've really pushed that lane. You could see them diving tier 1. They got
2v2'd again.
2v2s.
Yep.
Like
a lot of 2v2s.
The thing that they did well in game 1 is they ensured that Rogue wasn't on a playmaking support. He was on the Trundle.
Yeah.
And now he's stuck to the Alistar 2 games.
Really unlocked by the Kalista too. Like if it stuffs up, they can always just pull him out.
Yes. So
if you miss it,
and the biggest thing that I guess is they had Talia again, but Talia had no impact on this bot lane. I thought Swiffer did an excellent job on the control mage
well, I think.
Yeah, to stop Talia from roaming, but this was organically a 2v2 that Sin had a better 2v2 matchup and they performed.
I guess the other big thing going into this draft is the Chiefs blind picking Galio. They blind picked Galio. they ban Jace early on, but they leave open Fiora.
Yeah.
I guess thinking that potentially these nerfs are still strong. I tweeted out today. I was like, "Hey, is Doctor still going to play Fiora?" And he tweeted back at me, being, "Yeah, it works in certain situations." And I guess it was proven to today.
Yeah, I think one of the big things, I think ignoring the draft and ignoring the matchup, one of the big things that went wrong in this game for the Chiefs was Swiper's teleports.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
The
he got
Zach
called
passive.
bot or if he was just looking bot to try and salvage
Zach
what was
passive
going
earlier
on.
on.
And because he
The
burned
first
his
one.
TP on Zach passive and then Zach died anyway. Then he burned his TP on bot lane and then had to cancel. And I think he might have even done that twice. Dockler TP'd back to top lane every single time and then managed to just freeze the wave.
Just to break that down for people watching at home who might not know that, if you got TP advantage, you can use your TP then to get back into lane quicker to get better CS. That's one of the reasons he was so far ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest,
there was
the
a
biggest
big
thing was the freeze.
Yes, the freeze was massive.
Yeah.
And that kind of related, culminated in this big mid-game team fight, which we're about to see, where we see almost everyone come to mid lane. And it's an extended fight. Ryoma doesn't have flash. And so Chiefs are trying to capitalize on that because Orianna is their win condition. But Juves is here because he knows he doesn't need to be bot anymore. He almost solos Swiffer out. Ryoma's doing his best to put some damage in. And they force Spook's flash. Swiper TP's in again, but just doesn't have enough damage to kill Talia. And what happens on the back of this is they burn a lot of sums from the Chiefs side. They force the Galio TP and they kill him again. They're extending the Fiora lead even further. And basically what this all added up to was just this Fiora just being insanely difficult for Swiper to stop.
Shortly after that, they switched lanes. They put Fiora in the long lane,
Yeah.
gave her so much room to farm.
She's got bot tower on
Get
her own.
Krugs. Bot tier 2, Dover took tier 3.
Yeah,
almost killed Swiper
almost
at the tower.
dove Swiper underneath tier 3.
Yes, like
Yeah.
you could definitely
If he
tell.
had flash, he probably would have.
Yeah.
You can definitely, going back to the TP, the 2 TPs wasted, this game would probably been a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I didn't want to criticize the draft too much.
Yeah.
Because I think that they could have won with that draft. I think there was just a lot of things that just a little bit unlucky, a little bit miscommunication here and there, and it adds up to a bad result.
Does this change your opinion of Dokla? Watching him and Sin dismantle Chiefs in a 2-1 series?
Yes.
Yes, really?
Yes.
I mean, he's playing Fiora, 1,000 game Fiora,
he
etc., etc.
did
But
in this game what he couldn't do in Rift Rivals.
Right.
He pushed his advantage.
Yep.
He was such a menace. You could see the last team fight was 4v5 and he was ending the game.
yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily pushing your advantage, but
that's
he
pushing
took
your
tier 2.
advantage.
He took tier 2 bot and tier 3 bot, and really just saw that he had built up such a lead and did what he had to do as Fiora in a split push situation.
One of the things I also want to talk to you about, Choo Choos, is that there's the bot lane pressure that led to this top lane team fight, which we're going to see, which I know you were very interested in.
Yeah, this top lane team fight was built around. I think the bot lane had. Yeah, so the bot lane is Sin bot lane is going to the top lane, and this is essentially where Fiora is being such an issue that the Chiefs feel that they need to do something because this game is bleeding out. So you can see that they've all rotated top, Swiffer including. Talia
Which is
walls
that
them.
goal?
Yeah, you go straight up. Tommy rotates over, and the gold lead was about 6k at this point, and you could just see that the bot lane from Sin had just built up so much pressure that Chiefs felt inclined to just, we need to pull the trigger or else this game's just going to get out of control.
Yeah, that was the Hail Mary
pass.
the Hail Mary pass. Let's just see if we can do something. If they manage to get some shutdowns there, they're right back in the game. Unfortunately, Sin were ready for it, and then it was just all gold lead.
So, moving forward then, what does this mean for the rest of the split? We've got some coming out of 2 Super Weeks now. Legacy obviously on top, Diablo second place, and we're looking towards Sin pretty solidly in third, having beaten the Chiefs now.
Well, Sinner's still fourth on the ladder, I think.
But as it evens out, is what? Yeah, sorry.
But in terms of form, in terms of
Yes.
relative form, yes, it does look like Sinner third. They've just beaten the previous third place team, which was the Chiefs. In terms of the ladder, though, which is what's really important, is that Sinner's still fourth, and I'm not sure of the maths, but I think they need to win a few more games to get to that third spot.
With this win, though, they have solidified fourth in the gauntlet. I think AV
They're
were
in.
really hoping that that Chiefs would win today. So this looks this looks a lot better.
It's a big win for Sin.
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams. Abyss, AV, all going to be fighting for that 5th gauntlet spot now.
Woo! Well, AV currently have the head-to-head on Sin coming out of this, but they do have to play them again. I think in week 8, I think.
And they are also behind Abyss,
Oh,
and they don't have the head-to-head to Abyss. So it's going to be a tough run home for AV. But no, look, Sin, that last game, that was dominant. I mean, that series went from like 100 to 0 and then like back to 100 again, because that first game by the Chiefs looked amazing, and we thought, oh, maybe we went for a quick night.
Yep.
And then Sin turned it around. I was like kind of close game in game 2, and then game 3 just exploded.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if it was a year ago, if someone had said to you, hey, the Chiefs get beaten by Sin 2-1 in Split 2 next year, blah, 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 but also the Chiefs game that they won was kind of a cheese draft.
Yeah.
Or you know, what you would call good prepreration. I mean, that's not historically what you expect from this team as well.
I just like to highlight how good Sin are in a gaming house. I said last split.
Yeah, they've improved a lot.
I said last split that I think Sin were the team that utilized the gaming houses. They were the best team to utilize a gaming house.
Like they had they're gotten the most benefit relative to other teams.
Yes, they had gotten the most out of it.
Yeah.
And this just really just emphasizes how good they are in improving and developing this new roster, because Phoebe, FBI, first split in OPL, Rogue improved so much this year. It just makes you think, what is Bensel doing to them in that house?
Feeding them well.
Well, I think he cooks for them, probably helps them out.
He does cook for them. Apparently he's a killer cook.
Yeah.
Apparently, Juve's always telling me, Benny makes a mean roast.
Good eggs as well, apparently.
Good egg, great eggs.
Who does all the cooking in the Legacy house, Carmen? Who does all the
I
cooking?
do. I do. But I shared the load a little bit. We have a house manager this year called Lucas, who is kind enough to help out. So we split the load half and half. I'm slightly better.
Do you miss living in a team house and not getting that sweet gaming cooking?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Who's better, me or my mumsy?
Yeah, who's the better cook? Your own mother who gave birth to you, or Tim Carbon Wendell?
Come on, mate. Thumbs up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks, mate.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
I hope your mum's watching. Brutal.
I hope not.
All right. No, let's get back to this game. I mean, for the rest of the split, Chiefs then looking forward to playing Direwolves again, which is going to be difficult for them coming off the back of this. So how many wins do they have to pick up in order to kind of stay in contention for this?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure of the maths. I think they need... Before this game, they could have secured second still.
Yep.
I think they're out of reach now.
Yeah.
They need to make sure that they really want to maintain that third spot. They're going to have to play Sin either way. If they come fourth, they will play Sin in the third place match, or if they come third, they'll have to play Sin most likely in the fourth place match. Yeah. So I think they're going to play Sin either way, but it's just that you don't want to have to show your hand against Abyss or AV before that. I think that's the big thing, and that's what these teams are playing for. They want to make sure that if they do have to, because if you think about it, like Chiefs and Sin are two good sides, right?
Absolutely.
It's not like last year or the year before where it was like, oh, Chiefs legacy. And then like it doesn't. The rest is not as competitive. Yeah, but now it's kind of like there are 4 good teams who probably on a good day could take a game or a series from any other team, and so I think it's really important for the 3rd and 4th place teams to try and get that 3rd gauntlet spot, so they don't have to show anything when they play against the 5th spot in the
If you could
gauntlet.
hold on to that Cogwall cheese pick,
Yeah, like,
draft,
that's a
going
great
into,
example.
Going into the 3rd, 4th place match, that can essentially win you a series and puts you on to the next round.
All right, well, let's take a look at the results from this Super Week, round 6 of the OPLs. You bring it up on your screen. We start things off on Friday night. AV 2-0 over Regicide. Legacy then beat Direwolves 2-1 to put them top of the table. Abyss over TM. Chiefs over AV. And then today we saw Direwolves dismantle TM. And Chiefs struggle against a Sin lineup that is looking better than ever, potentially. And heading into Gauntlet, I mean, that is the kind of form you want out of Sin Gaming. We are still working out the standings as our boffins backstage are working out the graphics.
The
but
maths monkeys.
yes,
We've got a team of chimps on typewriters.
that's how it does.
It's gone a lot. It's gone pretty spicy.
It's in.
It's
Unfortunately, they
really
wrote the entire
spicy
works
now,
of
though.
Shakespeare, but they weren't able to get the standings reference. But we'll get that for you. It'll be on our website, os.lollysports.com. I'd like to thank you all for watching us today, and I'd also like to thank Choo Choos and Carbon for joining us on the desk today, as well as
worries.
Sarian for doing our
not doing it.
interviews.
You
And
did it,
we'll
so I'm not
see
doing
you next week. Bye.
He's running through the wall. Tegan has flashed forward. King has been ignit and hooked back. Great hook by Tegan, and first blood is picked up by Only. He's going to get the taunt off.
Kane comes in as well. Good damage with the Fentex, but Shermfire responds,
Great
gets the R back into the turret. Shock falls, and Only's going to fall shortly after as well. Great counter game. Big double knockback coming out and sends 2 into the team. Praetor gets a big flank in the back lines, but he just falls to all the feathers. King gets 2. Fantix goes huge. Only is being chased down as well. Double knockup doesn't matter. Praetor ultimate comes out. Low is dead. Only's trying to run away. Meanwhile, Shock force the flash away, but you're running straight into a Corki who is incredibly fed. 8-0-6, but double kill for Chippies. T-Gun's an extra 4. Make that 9 kills with Fanti. 21 kills to 4. 10 turrets take it down in this game to the 1 of TM. Only tries to do something, but he's aced by King. Commanding victory and a great bounce back for the Direwolves. Teleports are coming as well. Tegan gets a good initiation. Destiny throwing down the ultimate. It's going to keep King alive through the Buster Shot. Chippies has re-engaged. Only, however, keeps Fantix occupied. And that looks like a good team fight for TM. In fact, they kill the top laner from the Direwolves. Yeah, so Destiny pops the ultimate early, but no damage came out from TM during that fight. So nothing's happened so far. Direwolves return the favor. Shock very low. Kane's inside of Fantix. Gets good damage, but a heal comes out from King. Will still kill the mid laner, but he trades his life for it. It's a 1-for-2 trade in favor of the Wolves. King goes aggressive against Low, and Tegan gets the first kill of the fight. Destiny's got out with a sliver of health. Low wants to come back in, but there's just no avenue for him to do so. Meanwhile, Praetor in trouble. Double kill picked up by King. Winter Wall flushed away by Destiny. That's 3 kills for the Wolfpack. Yeah, Low looking for good damage on Fantix, but he is so low himself. Taken down. The AD carry is dead, and they just go front to back from here. Double stun from Tarek, locking down both Shock as well as Tegan. King gets a double kill, and the Goon has to somehow run away from all the Wolfpack members. There are respawn times coming up for TM, but they're already battering away at the Nexus. The Lich Bane as well as the damage from Caitlyn's too strong, and it's a 2-0 picked up cleanly by the Direwolves. FBI gets locked inside the arena, has to flash out. Restless Sin trying to go for a fight still, but big ultimate comes out from Egypt. Just alone, Swiper's almost been able to take down FBI all by himself, and Raze free access to Dokla, shreds through the health of the tanks. Easy team fight for the Raze. Chasing down Trundle. Get him. One more ultimate's going to be enough. Can't juke that, buddy. Easy kill. Roma tries to Valk in, Valk out. Raze flashes on his face, takes a crit for his troubles, and has to flash out himself.
Yeah, and I think that Raze, I mean, he burned the summoner spells there. Now he's in trouble.
He's getting flashed on Roma. Will get shut down by the Corki, but Juice going to be the next target. The beautiful butterfly has exploded and gets another kill. FBI wants to fight front to back, but he's got no more tanks in front of him. Kills one. That's with the help of Swiper. Locking down Dokla. He's going to be the next one to fall. Easily picked up by the Cogmore. And Swiffer has kept FBI occupied. Now they're going to try and fight on the bottom lane.
Swiffer is unkillable.
Still takes no damage. Gets a taunt only onto Road, who's going to fall as well. Shredded through comes the Cogmore. Pops more ultimates. That's a dead man walking. 2 people only left up for Sin. And the only thing that separates this game from a perfect game is the fact that Sin got 3 consolation kills, and the Chiefs were dominant for the last day of 7 weeks. They pick up a Game 1 victory in this Best of 3 series. Race forced to flash and heal away. They get some good trades onto Egypt. That's a flash from FBI. Gets first blood. Heal will keep him alive as well, but Egypt jumps forward for the auto attack to get that return. There's the Maokai ultimate. Teleports are coming in for both top laners. Egypt's going to flash away first. Ryoma now builds a wall, but it's nowhere close. That turret is going to fall. Egypt gets played back. Dude, Chiefs stand and fight. He can't get into the fight. Good wall built. Egypt's the first one to fall. Chiefs still want to go for the fight, but Ray's already being locked down. He's moving forward. There's a big crocodile on him, but look at Swiffer trying to get to the back line. Will flash out. Still going to die here. Dokla goes huge. Silenced by Spooks. Eventually falls. Great damage coming out from the Chiefs front lane. They trade 2 for 2. Swiper jumps in over the minefield, and Dokla just dives on in. Very bad. He's going to get locked down. Egypt locks him down with the box as well. Gets that kill for himself. Then now Ryoma, he's actually cut off Raze from this team fight. He can't access it. Swiffer's going to fall. Sorry, Swiper falls first. Now Swiffer's in trouble. Piled on. Raze has to flash away, trying to kite his heart out, but a double kill is picked up by Dokla. They lock him down. He's dead. Instant kill from Ryoma.
One shot.
Spooks is stuck. No one's back up for the Chiefs, and Sin, they've done it. They tie up the game 1-1. With a 16,000 gold lead, don't mind you.
I mean, both of these teams now has come onto Summoner's Rift and absolutely taking care of business on the blue side. They're going to be able to equal this one up 1-1. And Sin Gaming force a game 3.
Good damage. There's the teleport coming out to make sure they keep the Bloblets alive. Spooks will come back up, but Juice just kicks the barrel there. He picks up first blood.
Exactly right. And all of a sudden, Raze as well on the bottom lane. He's dead.
So many spears going into Raze. He's still alive. Will die to the Ignite. So supports trade kills. Going for a fight. The wall doesn't separate them. Spooks tries to deliver his team in, but that's a flash to take him away. Meanwhile, Swiper wants to kill Ryoma. Goes for the uppercut. Not enough damage. Tags Juice with the rubber hands, but Doklo gets one. Juice is here. That's going to be a double kill. Raze is there. That's a 1-2 good night if I've ever seen one. And Egypt just tries to get back towards Spooks. He might actually die for that too. They're trying to save Egypt. Let's see if they can. They pull up Swiffer as well. Juice is zoning him, knocks him into Ryoma. Almost gets a kill right off the bat. Builds a wall. Juice breaks it down, and Spooks will die for it as well. So many spears. Yeah, Galio's coming in though, and Spooks gets a nice ultimate. Actually cancelled by the Galio. And now Juice as well as Rogue say, sure, we're the tank. We can fight. FBI's chucking spears into Swiffer. That's the backline dead. Raze is stuck against the wall. FBI's happily cutting this one out.
Just going to win the game.
Doklo's going to do what he did last time.
Absolutely over. Sin Gaming win the 4v5, and they're going to win the best of 3.
FBI still trying to juke this one around. Raze is going to fall. 4 on 5, no problem. Doklo even comes in for the action again. Stops hitting the Nexus. This time he's the scumbag that steals the final kill. And Sin, they've done it. Every single Super Week that's ever existed here. They're just the kryptonite to the Chiefs. They're on to the Nexus. Game number 3 was theirs. Every single one was a one-sided affair. And in typical Sin fashion, they don't even want to hit the Nexus here, Spawn.
They certainly don't. They want to savor this moment, and damn well they should. They go up 15,000 gold, and they have broken the Chiefs today.